You know, for most of the history of human civilization, before TV, before movies, before media, before the internet, every country or society would produce only a very few famous people. You had to achieve something or be someone of incredible significance to earn fame. So the famous were all kings and conquerors and explorers and all that sort of thing. Each generation would have maybe a famous artist or two, maybe a writer, a philosopher, an inventor, an innovator. So fame was a very rare commodity. And famous people belonged to an extremely small and exclusive club. For everybody else on Earth, fame was basically unattainable. And I imagine that most people didn't spend a lot of time trying to think of ways to attain it, because the average person was known only by the people that they knew. And the idea of being known by lots of people you don't know, which we might call the definition of fame, would probably not have seemed terribly desirable to the average person during this time. But then TVs came along and Hollywood and the media, and the ranks of the famous swelled considerably. Suddenly, you didn't have to do anything significant to achieve fame. You just had to be good at pretending to do significant things. That glowing box in the living room gave you a window through which you could peer voyeuristically, and the people on the other side of that screen were all famous because although they knew they were being watched, they didn't know most of the people who were watching them. This made fame a little bit more attainable, and yet still only a relative handful would ever attain it. But it did make fame much more desirable, even for those who would never attain it, because the non-famous were spending so much of their lives watching the famous and envying the fake lives they lived inside that box. And then the internet came along, and social media close behind it. Fast forward a generation, and now a measure of fame can be had by anybody with a Twitter or TikTok or Instagram account. We're all famous now to one degree or another. We are all known by people who we do not know. We present ourselves as objects to be viewed and we hope envied. Some portion of people will experience a greater amount of this kind of fame, but nobody is required to achieve anything or be anyone or do anything or have any skill whatsoever to be famous anymore. You don't have to be a conqueror or a king. You don't even have to be a decent actor. You just have to offer yourself up as a spectacle, and others have to take you up on your offer, even if it's never quite clear why they find your offer appealing. This is just one of the myriad reasons why kids should be kept off of social media, because although they might deeply desire to make their lives into a spectacle for public consumption, that desire is not healthy. And we should do everything we can to prevent them from fulfilling it for as long as we can. Because there are a lot of downsides to fame. But those downsides used to be balanced by the fact that at least the famous people were all, by definition, talented and accomplished. Modern society, however, provides the opportunity to experience the downside of fame without any of the upside. A lot of mediocre people become famous for no good reason and then are promptly consumed by this fame that they never earned or had any business experiencing. It's kind of the equivalent of lottery winners who are destroyed by their wealth much more quickly and more consistently than people who earn their fortune through skill and hard work. Paraphrasing Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park, the lottery winner has wealth, but it didn't require any discipline to attain it. And the same could be said for fame on the internet. We're all sort of attentional lottery winners. We all get much more public attention than we really warrant, and it didn't require any discipline to attain that attention. And that, after a long preamble, brings us to the subject of our daily cancellation. If you feel like you aren't getting the respect you deserve in life, well, I've got a solution for you. Established Titles is your opportunity to earn the title of Lord or Lady and gain the respect you deserve. All you need is a 1 square foot plot of land in Scotland. In your title pack, you'll receive at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate and an official certificate with a crest. Your certificate will include a unique plot number with which you can see the exact location of your land. These title packs are a fantastic gift and the best way to surprise your loved ones, from girlfriends to boyfriends or even family. You could even get a couple pack for you and your partner where you can get adjoining plots of land. Well, with this certificate, you could officially change your name to Lord or Lady and get it on your credit card, your plane ticket, etc. Established Titles is having a great extended New Year's sale. So go to establishedtitles.com/Matt Walsh to save 10% off today. And remember to use the discount code Matt Walsh or just click the link below. That's establishedtitles.com/Matt Walsh or just click the link below. As the Daily Wire reports, quote, the ex-cop father of a 14-year-old American girl who has over 1 million followers as a TikTok star shot and killed an 18-year-old boy who stalked his daughter and had traveled hundreds of miles to her home, where he fired a shot through the family's front door. The father was not charged under Florida's Stand Your Ground law. Ava Majury, 14, whose videos show her singing, dancing, or pulling pranks, noticed in early 2020 that one of her followers, Eric Rohan Justin, 18 of Ellicott City, Maryland, was becoming obsessed with her, messaging her in Snapchat and on Instagram, and even joining online games that she played with her brothers, according to the New York Times. Ava initially responded to Justin, as she did with other fans, but learned that he was buying her personal information, including her cell phone number, from her friends in New Jersey and Florida, and then he would call and text her with the number. Okay, now to be clear, we're not canceling Ava because she's only 14, certainly can't be blamed for any of this. We also aren't canceling Eric Rohan Justin because he's dead anyway, and it would be kind of redundant. His cancellation has already been handled, it would seem. Instead, we're canceling Ava's parents. Now, her dad should be commended for shooting the predator, but that's really where the commendation ends. Aside from that one bright spot, her parents have played a pretty dark role in this story, as we'll see. Continuing. It says, Ava's parents allowed her to sell Mr. Justin a couple of selfies that she had already posted to Snapchat. The Times noted, continuing, after that, Mr. Justin messaged Ava on Venmo with a breakdown of what he would pay for, booty pics and photos of her feet, quote unquote, stuff that a 14-year-old shouldn't be sending, she said. She blocked him on all her accounts. In Venmo messages viewed by the Times, Mr. Justin pleaded with her to unblock him. Mr. Majury, the father, said he texted Mr. Justin's cell phone, told him that Ava was a minor, and demanded that he stop contacting her. Now, you've hopefully already noticed a number of red flags where the parents are concerned, starting with the very fact that Ava is a 14-year-old TikTok star. There's no such thing as a 14-year-old TikTok star with good parents. But we haven't even gotten to the biggest red flag of all yet. Back to the article. It says, since the incident, Michael Marino, an entertainment lawyer, created AGM Creations for Ava. She is now represented by Washington lawyer Lonnie Davis and his public relations firm. Ava is still on social media, and her parents support the idea. Her mother claimed that she did not want Ava to be forced off by sick individuals, saying, why should we allow them to stop her? Maybe she's meant to bring awareness to all this. Ava said that at night she has doubts about continuing on social media, but by the mornings, quote, I thought of all the benefits. Most people would say the money, and yeah, it's a huge benefit, but it's the experience. I got to go to LA, the people that I met. Just being able to make other people smile is what I like. The enjoyment of seeing the impact I make on people's lives. I post a video at night, close my eyes, and in the morning it's exciting to see how many views I get. Rob Majury echoed, quote, it's like Christmas every day because then you see it build. I think we just had to allow her to make a decision and sort of support her. I think it's going to help her heal. It sounds corny, but I don't know what else you could do for it. Okay, sure, Dad. Your adolescent daughter has been traumatized by the experience of a gun-toting psychopathic TikTok fan blowing her front door open with a shotgun, and the way to help her heal is to allow her to make more TikTok videos? Now, let's back up and review the whole scene for a second. A 13-year-old girl wants to open a TikTok account. Her parents allow it. She begins amassing a huge army of male followers who all enjoy watching her dance. Her parents continue to support it. An adult male stalker takes a very special interest in the girl, and her parents allow her to sell pictures of herself to this person. Then that same individual shows up at the house with a shotgun. The dad dispatches him, his one good act in the whole story, and immediately allows his daughter to get back on TikTok and continue building her brand. Now with a lawyer and a PR firm behind her. Now, Ava says that she wants to continue because the good outweighs the bad. What's the bad? Well, for one, violent stalkers trying to murder her. That's one bad thing. What's the good? Well, she likes seeing how many views she gets on her videos. There would seem to be something very wrong with Ava's scale, and I know what's wrong with it. She's 14. No 14-year-old can appropriately weigh the good against the bad and consistently make reasonable decisions based on that calculation. I couldn't at that age. That's why the child needs her parents to view the situation from a vantage point that is inaccessible to her. They're supposed to be bigger, and not just physically, able to see farther down the road. But all these parents can see, it would seem, are dollar signs. And that makes them especially gross and negligent, but compared to other parents who let their young children pursue social media fame, they're worse only by degree, not by kind. Though today we're focused just on them, and to them we must say, you are both canceled. Listen, hit that subscribe button right now. Do it right now. I thank you for your compliance. It is somewhat appreciated.